80-20-365, a time management system to help you achieve your goals and dreams in 2021 and beyond. We all have the same amount of time. Our results depend where we invest it. This is Living Your Life Well Planned, the 80-20-365 success system with its inventor, Adam Vincent Gilmer. I'm your host, Gene Velitis. And look at that. Welcome to episode number 41. And coming up on today's episode, and probably for about the next 8 or so episodes, we're going to introduce you to one of my friends and one of Adam's friends. And this is just going to take your business to the next level. You're going to be so excited. Our guest is Sherry Tree. And Adam and I have known Sherry for a long time. She is the founder and chairman of Codebreaker Technologies, and she's also the inventor of something called BANK, B-A-N-K. Now, BANK is an acronym for Blueprint, Action, Nurturing, and Knowledge. Now, it's a simple personality-based system that shows you how to pinpoint and appeal to anybody's personality in less than 90 seconds. Now think about that if you're in sales. Over the next 8 or 12 episodes, you know what? You're going to get the universal formula to communicate effectively with anyone. You're going to raise your emotional intelligence. And here's what I love. After we go through the training and all the tools, you'll be able to increase your sales by, and this is not a mistake, 300%. So think of your sales right now. Think of maybe what you did last month. Now multiply that by 300%. And I think you're going to be listening to every single last word that Sherry has to say. And we'll get to Sherry in just a second. As we love to remind you at the beginning of all of these broadcasts, make sure you order your daily planner. It's going to become like your cell phone. And when I say like your cell phone, what I mean is if you misplace it, you will panic until you find it. You know, your daily planner is, it's really your roadmap. Adam's had a daily planner for decades now, and look at his success. So you really need your daily planner. It's about $1 a day. And if you don't want to spend $1 a day on yourself, I suggest you go to another podcast because we take this very, very seriously. So to begin with, we got the business out of the way. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing great. Back in California, down from Lake Tahoe, where I'm spending a lot of time and enjoying the snow. As you said, I'm an honorary Canadian. I see the comments on Facebook and Instagram and all those other places.
But yes, we've made you an honorary Canadian. You can ski and you're in the snow. I love it.
Having a good time, but I'm really excited about the next upcoming episodes. And that's because actually Sherry and I have been talking about doing collaboration for years and years and years and years. And I use the bank system inside my daily planner. In fact, I've dedicated now to the new planners that are coming out underneath the mentoring and the people section. Instead of A's, B's, C's, and D's inside the planner, I've changed it now to B, A, N, and K. And the reason is, I know Sherry's excited about that. What it does is, and what I love about doing this collaboration is, I use the system pretty much every single time I'm either prospecting, meeting people, sizing people up, really for the first time, seeing what they're about. And Sherry has dedicated, I'm going to say, her life to really getting into the science of how this works. And if you incorporate the planner and the bank system together, your life is going to be very, very productive. Not only will your sales increase, but the rate of productivity that you use and the 20% high payoff activities that you do, like these next several episodes are, great things will take place in your life. So I really want you to, if you're on the podcast, if you're watching on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, or whichever channel you're tuned into us on, I want you to take not only special notes, but when we publish and say, go look at the website and the links at 80-20-365, you can get the system and start immediately on making this work. So I'm very, very excited. I've known Sherry for a long time. We've worked very, very well together. In fact, when I was a president of another network marketing direct sales company, Sherry and her team and partners were the top producers in that company. They broke all the records in a very, very short period of time. And we just had an amazing relationship. And I've seen her business flourish over the years, and I'm very, very happy that Sherry's part of our program here for the next several weeks.
Yeah. Before we get to Sherry, let me share a very, very quick and amusing story. As I said off the top, I met Sherry at a convention in Los Angeles when I was living in California. And I had never heard of the bank system. And Sherry, by the way, is also a phenomenal speaker. And she's actually talked to people at Harvard. She's addressed the United Nations. She is among one of the top professional speakers anywhere in the world. So I didn't know who she was, and all of a sudden Sherry gets up on stage at this convention and she introduces the bank system and explained how it all worked and the tools and the technology. And honest to God, I was just shaking my head saying, this is the most incredible game changer that I have ever seen. Unfortunately, I was the next speaker. And you know what? Everybody just ran to buy the bank system. And I was kind of up there going, can I talk for a second? So that's how much it absolutely blew me away. But let's get Sherry into the conversation here. Thanks for being with us on the podcast and for the upcoming episodes. Give us the genesis of how this all happened. I mean, you know what? We've got lots of episodes to come. We're not going to do this in a hurry. We're really going to take you through the whole method. And as I encourage people to get your daily planner, I'm going to encourage you to get the bank system. An increase of 300% in sales. You cannot afford not to buy this system. It's an essential tool. I mean, would you buy a car and no gas? Of course not. You have to have the whole thing. So Sherry, give us a history lesson here. How did it all start? What was the genesis? I mean, what was the light bulb that went off over your head and just got this whole process moving along?
Yeah. Well, speaking of Genesis, maybe I should start off with in the beginning. In the beginning, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad a little over 20 years ago, and I became a fanatic of the concept. And Robert Kiyosaki, said, if you want to be wealthy, you need to be an entrepreneur, you need to be a business owner, and you need to be great in sales. And so I remember his story about how he worked for Xerox and sold copy machines. I decided I was going to give it a go, and I was going to jump in, and I joined network marketing in a company that was doing financial services. So I was kind of like a quasi financial advisor in a network marketing model. And this is kind of where my journey began, because my first year I crushed it. I made $700. As in total for the whole year. And I remember that because I finally qualified to get a 1099. Sent to me. It was terrible. And of course, you guys know network marketing. I mean, the only reason they didn't fire me was because I didn't quit. And I decided that I was committed to my goals and dreams. I absolutely love what you're doing, Adam, with the 80-20-365, because this is such an important foundation to really creating success for yourself. And I remember feeling I was so committed, and I had goals and I had dreams, and I built vision boards. I even laminated them and put them in my bathroom, and I created little mini ones, and I put them on my car visors so that everywhere I drove, no matter how much frustration or defeat I was experiencing, I would remember that my goals were bigger than my failures, and that I needed to keep persevering. And so I developed these disciplines, and I remember I needed to get better. So I started studying everything I could get my hands on. I read the books, I listened to the audio programs, and this is back when it was cassette tapes. I don't know if you guys, I know you remember those days, back when it was cassette tapes before even CDs came out. And I attended the seminars, I attended the Super Saturdays, I attended the company conventions, and I really wanted to get better. And I'll take you back, I was at the company's convention. They did it in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, 65,000 people. And I was an absolute nobody. It cost me more to attend the convention than my entire first year income, to buy the plane tickets and the hotel. And here I was sitting in the nosebleed section, a total nobody in the company knew who I was. They'd never heard of Sherry Tree. And as I watched the award ceremony, they were parading people across stage that had made $100,000 in a year. And boy, did it, in my wildest dreams, did I say, I really wanted to make a six-figure income. And when I graduated from college, I spent 4 to 5 years getting my BS degree. That's the funny thing, so that I could be offered a job. I got 3 job offers when I graduated, and magically all job offers were the exact same amount. I could start working full-time for companies for $25,500 a year. And I'm like, is it missing a comma somewhere? Like,
not exactly the road to a millionaire.
No. So network marketing was my way out of like $25,000 a year. That's all that corporate America valued me at. And I thought, man, that's what I went to college for. This is a joke. So I was really excited. So as I saw people making $100,000 a year, just, you know, I started to get excited, and I started to feel energy and fire inside myself. And they kept parading people across the stage making 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. And my eyes were getting bigger and bigger. And the next thing you know, they got through all of those levels, and then they started to parade people across the stage that made $1 million a year. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is the holy grail. You know, if I could ever get to where I could make $1 million a year. And it kept going. They paraded people across the stage making 2 million, 3 million. And that year they were announcing $4 million a year income earner. And I about fell out of my chair. And what I remember, they didn't even let the people with earning less than 1 million, they didn't even get a microphone. They didn't even get to say hi on stage. There were so many of them. And I thought, my gosh, you know, this is the land of possibility. And as the people who spoke on stage that made 1 million to 4 million a year, I was waiting for them to say something like that, you know, they were in some way invincible. They were superheroes. And the funny thing is, as they grabbed the microphone and shared their story, I thought, my gosh, they're not special at all. They're average, ordinary people who just went and got to work and followed a plan, and they were disciplined. And I thought, wow, you know, so I started to get a fire burning in my chest. And honestly, ever since that pilot light turned on in my chest, and this is why I believe in events, right? Going to events. Adam and I know we've been to several events together. You just can't miss these events, because it was in that moment that I became super committed to my future. And so this goes back to now in my story, why I started listening to the audio programs and reading the books and working on my personal development, because I knew if I was going to earn more, I had to become more. And so for 5 years, I invested heavily into myself and personal development. I remember hiring coaches, paying them thousands of dollars, money I didn't have, just to, like, you know, hopefully learn some golden nuggets to make me better. And I did get better. I took my income over a 5-year period from $700 to $72,000. And I had a really nice rank, and I won some trips. But the funny thing is, and this is kind of where the story takes a turn that kind of altered my life destiny, is, you know, I felt like, you know, I was supposed to be successful, but I felt like I was living kind of a lie behind the scenes. I was $30,000 in credit card debt. I was renting an apartment. I couldn't qualify for a home. And I was playing the fake it till you make it game with a broken salvage title BMW. It was literally wrecked and restored, and it was the only one I could afford. And I couldn't even park in front of clients' homes back when you used to go visit people, because my battery would spontaneously die. And not only did I need a set of jumper cables in my trunk, but occasionally I got myself so stranded that there wasn't even a car in any proximity to give me a jump. And so I had to go buy the battery pack so that I could give myself a jump. Like, it was a nightmare. And it reminded me of this quote from Robert Kiyosaki, where he said, "Stop taking advice from people more messed up than you." And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be living the dream or selling the dream. And I felt like I was actually living a nightmare. And so it felt like something was out of integrity for me. And I really love network marketing, but honestly, it felt like something was broken. And I wasn't sure whether or not it was me that was broken, or maybe was it the system. And I ended up discovering, in fact, it actually wasn't me, it was the system. And once I took a few steps back to figure out what was missing, or what the missing link was, and ended up, finding a way to implement what that missing link was and kind of close the gap. This is when I built the bank system, and we'll go into it more coming up in some of these episodes. But that one thing ended up changing my entire trajectory. In one single year, implementing this bank system that I created, I ended up taking my income from $72,000 to over $500,000 in a single year, a 7x increase. And I went from working 60 to 80 hours a week doing the hustle and grind as if there was like nobility that you got when you worked harder. But you always hear about how do you work smarter, not harder. And I never knew how until I figured out, and discovered this missing link. So I went 7x my income in 1/3 the time. Here I was working 20 to 30 hours a week, making over $500,000. And I'm like, this is awesome. And as I continued to repeat those principles of success that I was implementing using the bank system, and then I started to train it to my team, my entire downline sales organization, I ended up getting to a place where I made it mandatory for my downline because it was creating such substantial results for those that were using it versus those that were not, were kind of trapped in something I call a Maytag. I used to be a whitewater rafting guide. And on the river, if you ever get thrown out of the boat and you get sucked into a Maytag where the water's churning really fast underwater, it can kill you. And as whitewater guides, we had to learn how to escape the Maytag, kind of like Houdini. And so I trained this to my team, and my income just continued to skyrocket. I got to where within 3 years, I was earning over $1 million a year. And at that point, of course, the rest was history. So that was sort of the beginning, the genesis of what my motivation was. I really wanted to win, just like you are doing, Adam. You're absolutely crushing it. And, I basically discovered a secret to helping more people be able to do that.
It's a phenomenal story. And, Adam and I have seen it in action. And I mean, when you have the potential to increase your sales by 300%, I mean, that's really incredible. Tell me the story behind the acronym BANK, Blueprint, Action, Nurturing, and Knowledge. Where did that come from?
Yeah. Well, the acronym of BANK, and this is kind of part of the story, the missing link that I discovered was that, we were pretty much brainwashed into believing what I call one of the greatest lies ever told, which was that sales was a numbers game. And somehow in network marketing, there's tons of people who say that, in order to get more yeses, you have to get more. Go ahead and say it, Gene.
No's.
More no's, right? And it's like somewhere somebody adopted that philosophy, and then everybody regurgitated that, to where they literally have books written called Go for No. And in the beginning, I was one of those people too. I'm like, all right, I need to go for no. And I remember going to the mall, when I was trying to build my network marketing business full time, and I would put 10 pennies in my pocket, and I wouldn't come home until I've talked to 10 people and was willing to get rejected and get 10 no's and move those pennies from my left pocket to my right pocket. And I woke up one day and said, that's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Because the truth is, in order to get more yeses, you actually have to get more yeses, not more no's.
Yes.
And so,
yes,
right? Like, it's just for all the listeners here, I just want you to have an aha moment, right? In order to get more yeses, you actually have to get more yeses, not more no's. So don't ever go for no again, because the universe listens to you, and every single time you go for no, it will reward you with exactly what you're intending to get, which is more no's. Right. And that's like the dumbest thing you could ever do to yourself in business. That's what creates so much failure and churn inside of the network marketing industry. So in my corporate job, I took personality assessments. In network marketing, I also learned about personalities. What color are you? What animal are you? What astrology sign are you? And I remember thinking, this is one of the craziest things I've ever done. But taking these personality assessments was fascinating with what I learned about myself. But my fascination turned into frustration when I realized not one single one of these assessments ever made me more money. Not one of them ever helped me close more sales. Not one of them ever helped me recruit more people. But yet everyone was recommending and trying to get people to take these personality typing assessments. So going back to what is the acronym of BANK, Bank actually uses the concept of personality science that dates back thousands of years. And I'll get into a deeper dive in one of our upcoming episodes here. But the idea is that there's 4 different types of people. So bank is a play on personality science. It's personality based, but with a very powerful twist that when applied to the sales process creates extraordinary results. It can literally triple your income. It can triple your recruiting. And that can create extraordinary results. Bank is also people-centered, because you're going to find out when we talk about some of the secrets, people are at the center of it, not sales, but people. Bank is also what I call profit-focused. And the reason is why? Because we want you to make more money. We want you to be more profitable. We want you to be more successful. And if you've ever been brainwashed into believing another common lie, which is that money doesn't buy you happiness. Adam, does money buy you happiness?
Well, it's way better than being broke, because broke is sad.
Let me tell you, money creates so much happiness. I can't even begin to explain the amount of happiness money can create. And I'll give you some examples. You know, I am married. I have a same-sex partner, and we wanted to have a child. And the only way to have a child was we needed to do the IVF process. Well, to do that created, you know, enormous amounts of a financial investment in order to make all of that modern day science turn into a miracle in the form of a baby. It was a deep 6-figure investment for my family. And had we never had that, we never could have had the joy of experiencing parenthood like you do, Adam, right? Where you have 2 beautiful children. Well, we really wanted one of our own. And because of that investment, we were able to do that. Money buys you enormous amounts of happiness. And keep in mind, of course, money isn't everything. Money doesn't replace several things that are priceless, but money does empower you to be able to do great things. And so I want you as a listener to have a very healthy mindset with money. And thank goodness I was reading these Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, because they really helped me to get the right mindset around money. It's the poor and the broke that have a problem with money. But the rich and the wealthy, like that's a completely different switch. And what Adam is attempting to do here with the 80-20-365 concept is to put you in a place where you have a shot at becoming wealthy. And I'm just going to share quickly some statistics. I'll come back to the bank acronym. As a financial advisor, the reason I became so passionate about helping people make money and why I chose the network marketing profession as my vehicle to do it was because when you look at today's 65-year-olds, you know, and I know, Gene, you're up in Canada, but these are American stats, but I'm sure they're probably similar to where you're at in other countries around the world. Today's 65-year-olds are totally screwed financially. You know, when you look at it, 54% of today's 65-year-olds are dependent upon the government, church, and family. And that's a really scary idea because, you know, the government is practically bankrupt. Churches are asking you for money, and families typically don't have anything left to give. You know, the joke in my family is what debt we're going to parse up, you know, at the end when my parents died, not like what is our inheritance. And so that's 54%. 36% are still working, where McDonald's and Walmart are some of the largest employers of senior citizens. And let's add network marketing as a potential vehicle for them to even have a shot, right? 5% are dead. So far, they're the lucky ones financially because they just checked out early, not trying to be insensitive, but I'm talking from a money perspective. And when you add those up, you're at 95%, Gene. 95% of people today, 65-year-olds, are just totally screwed financially, which leaves 5%. So this 5% is where I used to, I would always try to help my clients get to something called financial independence. And until I understood, and 4% of the remaining 4 out of 5 are financially independent. But here's the catch. Our government's definition of financial independence is that you can live on $3,000 to $4,000 a month. like Adam, would you ever go back to a life of $3,000 to $4,000?
No.
You're like, no, heck no. You know, your wife, she would like, heck no, right? Your kids are like, they're way more expensive.
That's a purse. One.
Yeah. That's one purse. Exactly. I went shopping yesterday. Esther fell in love with a beautiful Louis Vuitton jacket, and we didn't go there for it, but you know what? She walked out with it. It happened to match the exact same pair of Louis Vuitton she bought 2 weeks ago when we were in Beverly Hills Rodeo Drive. And guys, this isn't about vanity, but remember, money does buy you happiness. And there are things that you can do with money that make you feel great and that allow you to do good. So bottom line is that only leaves 1% that's considered wealthy. And by definition of wealth, you need a net worth of $5 million or more, $5 million or more. And so why I'm so passionate about helping people win inside network marketing, and by the way, I'm going to get to some of the broken kinks of network marketing because I want to fix it. We have a cure, which is why I'm on this show right now. For those of you that are committed to becoming part of the Wealthy 1% Club, Adam and his family, guess what? They're already there. Sayonara, bye-bye. And they made it. But for everyone that makes it, 99% of you don't make it. And what I love about working with 1%ers are the ones that turn around once they make it and they dedicate the rest of their lives to helping other people make it too. And that's called mentorship. That is Adam Vincent Gilmer. This man has dedicated his life. I watch where this man goes and what he does to invest in other people and travel around the world so that you have a shot at making it to the Wealthy 1% Club. And Adam surrounds himself with the mentors and the masters that are committed to the same journey, which is why I'm here. So yes, bank is profit focused, and bank is also one other thing that I call purpose driven. Okay, so it's personality based, it's people centered, it's profit focused, and it's purpose driven. And I want to get to the purpose part of it so you can see the big picture. We live on a planet with more than 7 billion people, 6,500 languages spoken, and we believe there's only one language that has the power to connect and unite humanity. And I happen to call that language bank, the language of people. Why bank became so powerful and something that I became so committed to where now we have clients in more than 100 different countries around the world is because we discovered through this bank creation, we discovered a language of literally humanity. It's the language of humanity. People are programmed in 4 different ways. They make buying decisions in 4 different ways. They join your network marketing company for 4 totally different reasons. And we'll get into that when I get into the science piece of it. But when I started to realize like, wow, humanity, we need help in our world more than ever before. When you look at what the impact of COVID is on the world economy, with the lockdowns, with social distancing, anxiety, depression, divorce, domestic violence, suicide, like there are atrocities that are being created because humans are unfortunately disconnecting instead of reconnecting. And we've got a massive issue on our hands. And solving it in one way is, yes, let's bring you opportunities like network marketing. Let's help you go become successful. Let's help you become part of the Wealthy 1% Club. But by the way, let's do it in a way that allows you to keep your family intact. Let's have happy, healthy marriages. Let's have amazing, beautiful relationships with our children. Let's leave the world a better place because we were here. And so our mission as a company is what we call one world, one language. And that's the idea behind bank. And so if you hear passion coming through the microphone here to all you podcast listeners, that's because this has the power to transform not only your revenue, putting more money in your pocket and allowing you to take it to the bank, but also more awesomeness in your relationships, more love, more kindness, more empathy. And that's why we say bank actually helps you to develop something called emotional intelligence, which is one of the key traits of the world's most successful people is not IQ, but EQ, emotional intelligence. So we'll go into it more, but those are, that's what bank is. Now, I didn't describe the acronym, Gene, because I'm going to do that in one of our upcoming podcasts, but that's the essence behind bank.
Well, I think everybody has a really great idea about the foundation. And I'm going to get Adam to react because, it's sometimes it's a little embarrassing when you have to do self-promotion. It's nice when you can hear it from other people. And I can tell you, now, if you're listening or watching the video on Adam's site, this may sound very complicated to you, just hearing about the background. Let me guarantee you that it's not. And I have seen the program in action. And honestly, the person prospecting another person can determine that person's personality in less than 90 seconds. Talk their language, they'll understand it, and it's a close like that. Adam, what's been your experience watching people use the bank system?
People wonder why I built such a big sales organization globally around the world in more than 145 countries inside a company that had a system that basically said we can ship product and we can pay commissions there. And I said, fantastic, because that's all I needed as a starting point. And then I said, okay, because of how I like to work with my personality and how I look at other people, I'm able to connect with those people. And what's really great about hearing Sherry talk about the bank system, and we got along from day one, because I think she understood I like personality. I like the colors and personalities. That's how I learned the system. And then she perfected it going into saying BANK, and she came up with this little acronym. It was like, take it to the bank. And most people like to take their checks to the bank or get a wire or get something coming in. That's a positive experience, a lot of people. The other thing I love what Sherry just went through was she said, talk about emotional intelligence. She talked about this being purpose driven. And the very first thing that you see when you open up a daily planner, right, is a purpose statement. So there's so much synergy between the system and saying, let's how to make it work and what have you. Every single day in the previous planner, I had A's, B's, C's, and D's. A-type personalities, B's, C's, and D's. 4 different personality types, also known as B, A, N, and K. And that's why I made the commitment to changing it so that I could align with what Sherry was doing. And that way make it a high payoff activity, connecting with people and being able to see what that person wants and find out why they want to buy, or be the conduit to actually helping them make a purchase decision, makes a massive difference in your income. And the difference in income is what allows you to have a better lifestyle, wear better clothes, drive better cars, live in better houses, travel first class. And like you like to say, Gene, if you're going to travel on a plane, you want to be at the front of the plane. If you're going to travel in a nice Lincoln Town car, you want to be in the back. You want it to be chauffeured, right?
Yep. Front of the plane, back of the car. That's what I've always said. Front of the plane, back of the car.
and people see other people, living life really well, and they think, oh, well, you're lucky somebody left you something, or it was an inheritance, or what have you. Well, listen, the person that left you the inheritance learned some of this information and applied it. Okay. And that's what allowed them to become, what you say, wealthy or rich or independently, financially independent. You can do this, but guess what you have to do? You need to take action. See, we can put on some of the best shows in the world, but if you do not believe enough in yourself to go and actually say, you know what, I need to get this information, I want to get this information, you got to take the action steps to do so. And I'm not good at making you take the action steps, because you're just listening to this podcast or YouTube or wherever you're getting information from. You have to say, that sounds intriguing enough to me to go and do it. And that's the challenge I have for you as we're rolling into some of the other episodes. Is the challenge is get up, stand up, go get the information, go to our website, get it, download it, and get involved. And you'll start to see how the mentorship starts to work. You'll start to see how your life starts to change. And I practice every single day. I just got back from Florida, where I went in with an agenda. Okay, I'm a big planner, right? So I went in with an agenda. I had 4 things to do, major, high payoff, high, not only money for me in the future, more money for me in the future, or more income, but helping the company move in a direction during this incredible time of COVID, helping them introduce new products, helping them acquire new companies, and helping them acquire new leadership, not just in the field, but also corporately. All this is an agenda. And if you don't know how to read personality types, you're going to miss out on some really, really important opportunities. And that's exactly what Sherry and what we're talking about in this particular show.
Yeah. And as Adam mentioned, we very, very, very rarely ever use the word luck on these podcasts. And bank is not about luck. It's about science. The Daily Planner is about science. This is science-based. And these 2 people care so much about you that this is why we offer these podcasts for free. You can go to Adam's website. You can watch the video and see my chubby little cheeks, or you can go to Spotify or iTunes. We are being of service to you. And if you get it like that, you're going to use these tools to grow your business. So we've laid the foundation down here in episode 41. And if you're binge listening, I know you're going to go to episode 42 like that, because it's going to be really, really exciting. So coming up on our next episode, Sherry, just give us a little tease. We're going to talk about the secret. What does that mean?
Well,
just a little tease.
what I'm about to reveal is the secret. And I've got 4 secrets that I'm going to reveal. And trust me, when you start realizing some of the things that I said where you've been brainwashed or misled, when I reveal the secrets, you're going to sit there and go, oh my gosh, literally, it's going to shift your mindset in a way that's going to allow you to go and access everything that you've been dreaming about and planning about with the 80-20-365, how to actually turn it into reality. So that's a quick little teaser. The next few episodes, I'm going to unlock the secrets, the science, and the system to help you triple your sales and be able to do that in less than 90 seconds with a technique I'm going to teach.
All right. On behalf of Adam Vincent Gilmer, Sherry Treat, I'm Gene Velitis. This is Living Your Life Well Planned. Coming up on our next episode, and I know you're just going to run to it right away, we're going to tell you the secret behind the bank system. This is Living Your Life Well Planned. Let's see you on our next episode. 80-20-365, a time management system to help you achieve your goals and dreams in 2021 and beyond. We all have the same amount of time. Our results depend where we invest it. 80-20-365, living your life well planned.